Hi there, thanks for joining me today. I've got a project for you which is a circular box, basically what's known as a hat box. I'm starting off with the two main pieces, which are obviously the lid sides and the base sides. Now in the file I have made it so that I've got score lines for this line here, and I actually used my blade to lightly score the card. So on this one, I have already turned it so that the side which was actually cut and scored is on the inside. I've got plain cards so I can do that. If you do not have a plain card that you're using and you don't want to put it pattern side down on the mat, then I suggest you use a scoring tool. I've just got an empty bottle and I'm just going to wrap this around so that gives it a bit of a curve. Now this is my lid, so I want to make sure I do not stick those together. This one is going to go on here. So what I advise you do is you use a really good glue. Use one that you know that you can trust. Put a little glue on the first one. Stick that in there. And I've got a clip, and because I've got a hole in here, I can actually clip it like that. Once you've got one in place and it's dry, it's a lot easier to go around and do the rest of them. Believe me, a lot easier. So here's the lid. Now it doesn't look great. This edge certainly needs tidying up. So we have this piece which obviously has to go inside the lid. Now, even though they are made so that they are supposed to match, just occasionally, because of the way you put it together, maybe you've not pulled it as tight as it could be and all the rest of it. Maybe you pulled it a bit tighter than it should be. What I suggest you do is to curl this up and put it inside and just allow it to expand. And you can see, let me just put it that way around for the moment, you can see whether these edges line up, which they do pretty well, but that's going to be a very tight fit. If you want it to be slightly looser than that, then pull this in very slightly and stick it down before you do the other side. So once you've got your side stuck, you can put your base on and you can wriggle it around. Now the easiest way of making sure that it goes in properly is to put the base inside the lid. Put that on, center it up as well as you can. And then because this has got a hole in the center, it's quite easy to take whatever object you have and then go around and make sure it's stuck down properly. So now you have a box with a lid that fits really quite nicely. To finish off by putting some acetate into the lid, and that will be done by double-sided tape or hot glue depending on your preference. I've got some little decorative things I'm just going to put in here. Just put in a couple of pinches like that. These are very tiny, they're designed for nail art, but they're really handy for crafting purposes. That in, and so now, as you can see, I've got a bit of a shaker in the top of it. I thought I had some other thicker twine to do this with, and I don't, so I've had to do it with this thin string. I could have, if I'd have thought about it, plaited it to make it thicker, but I didn't think of it at the time, so I just put that around the outside edge. And I've left a long length there so I can tie it into a bow. So that will go onto there like that. Now I've decided I'm going to leave the bottom of the box plain because I do have other things in mind for the actual top, which I will show you in a moment. I'm just going to leave that to dry. Now if you are very, very bad at putting things around the edge, the way to do it is to start it off, glue one piece on, get that really well dried in the right place. then to turn it upside down and to lay your glue around the edge, doing it that way. That way you'll get it even. And I am going to show you what I have in mind for the other decoration. I have cut out, and they're included in the file that is linked down below the Dropbox file. I've cut out some flowers and some leaves. I've cut them out of thin paper. It's origami paper, as it happens. Doesn't have to be. You could use whatever paper you've got to hand, but it should really be a fairly thin one. And I've got some modelling tools that I've had for a long time. They're only cheap ones. And the reason I got these is because you can put some dimension onto these sorts of things. Put these onto a thick pad of foam. If you do flower making, normally you might well have a gizmo for this. I don't have a gizmo, I just use a piece of foam. Glue down properly. So I'm going to take this and tie a little bow. So here's my finished box. I've put some flowers on it, some leaves, and I've just used some self-adhesive gems to do the centre of the flowers. I think it looks quite sweet. Now, if you want to do this kind of box, but you don't want to do a round one, I'll include a file for a rectangular or square box as well. That is a lot easier to make because you don't have to go around a circle. So yeah, there we go. Quite a cute little box just for either a cupcake maybe or a small gift, whatever you want to do, and of course you can have it on display. That's it for today. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.